I was told that you have been an engineer. Can you tell us how from an engineer you became like a Swami or Sadhu?
Yeah, I went engineering education in India, and after that I worked for a few years. First I was working in India, but from my very childhood I had this desire to understand spirituality, practice spirituality and become self-realized. Although I did not have proper education in it or proper understanding, but whatever I had heard from the sadhus whom I met in my childhood, this desire was there that I want to become a self-realized person, a God-realized person. And this desire always continued throughout my student life. And even when I completed my engineering, I was always planning that when will I take to this mission, this my desire of God realization full time. So first I thought that I will work for some time to help my family, my parents, and then I will renounce my job. So I took up a job in India, then I went to America. And when I went to America, I got some very deep realization about Indian culture, because now I was able to compare the importance and greatness of Indian culture with the Western society. Previously I have only read about Western society, and usually you read all the nice things. But when I went there, I realized that Western society is quite shallow from inside. From external, from outside, it looks very happy, nice, well organized. But I saw that people who were working in my office, they were very dissatisfied within their hearts, and they did not have good relations with their family people, which was just the opposite of what I had experienced in my own family life, with my parents, with my brothers and sisters. So this desire came very intense, and I gave up my job. I came back to India and I studied Sanskrit, and I did masters, I did PhD in Sanskrit, and along with that I studied the various schools of Indian philosophies like Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Yoga, Sankhya, Purmimansa, Vedanta, from different traditional masters, so that I could grasp them as this knowledge existed, because these masters are also dwindling now and people in general have no interest to study it. So I took a great endeavor, I went through a great effort to acquire this knowledge from different teachers, and then I started Jiva Institute to preserve this knowledge and to teach it to others. So now I travel to the Western countries, I teach. I am also a visiting professor in Rutgers University in America. I come also to Terra del Cielo to teach. I also go to some other places. I am also adjunct faculty member at International Vedic Hindu University in Florida. So I am associated with some of the organizations where I am teaching, and I am also continuing to study. I translate books from Sanskrit and I try to explain them in modern context. I write commentaries which can be understood by the modern people. So this is what I have been doing.
So you strongly think that Vedic knowledge, Vedic culture has something to say to the modern world?
I very strongly think that Vedic knowledge is the key to the solution of the problems of modern society. Without this knowledge, there is no other solution. You can keep on fixing the problems and they will keep arising, but the real solution lies in the Vedic knowledge.
Vedic knowledge was not only good for some 1,000 years ago and for India.
You see, the truth is universal. Truth does not depend on time and space. It is always true as it was true 1,000 years ago, it will always remain true even 1,000 years from now. So it is not something which is applicable only for India, it is applicable for human beings. And that's why the very word Veda means knowledge. And knowledge is not for a particular sect of people, for a particular country. Knowledge is for human beings. Just as the knowledge of science is not for Western people, it is also for Indians, although it has been discovered by the Western scientists. So in the same way, the Eastern knowledge or knowledge of the Veda is not only for East, it is for the whole world.
Because it's not connected with the way the people were living at the time, with their history, with their problems, specific problems.
Yes, there are two parts of knowledge. One is the principles and other is the application of that principle. So principles don't change. They are fixed because they are eternal truths. But how you apply those principles in your life, that will change according to the situation in the society. So that is our job, that how we put those principles into our life in modern context.
Because the difficulty is usually with all the text is that it's difficult to separate what is forever and what is for what was for the time when it was written.
Yeah, it is difficult, but it is difficult for those who have not studied the scriptures properly. But if you study them with proper understanding, then it is not difficult. It is not difficult for me because I understand what is the principle and how it should be applied.
So this Vedic science, this Vedic knowledge, is the food for the future.
Yes, this is the food not only for future but also for the present.
For the present.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.